All right, folks, we are back on the W.A.D.E concept presented by The Ring Magazine, and today we are taking a look at new Andrew Tate sparring footage released ahead of his CEO takeover, hostile takeover of Misfits Dubai, December 20th. He's in the main event versus Chase Demoor. And I'm going to keep doing this little breakdown series every time he drops something because it's interesting to me. I want to see what he is at 38, 39, whatever, 40, I think. What he still has, and does Chase have the ability and the experience to knock him off? I think this fight may be a little bit more interesting than it was at first look. Chase is 6'5". He's 240 pounds. I think they're probably going to have to make him come down a little bit. But this is a bigger test than people may think. Not because Chase is a world-class boxer, but because Tate has been retired for like a decade and now is coming back to fight. What does he still have? We've looked at some stuff from him a couple of years ago, even as recently as a couple of months ago, but now we're looking at in-camp Andrew Tate, and I think he has some weapons that are going to be very dangerous for all Misfits fighters. But really, I want to know why. Why is Andrew Tate doing this? A guy that has a ton of money, doesn't need to do it, that's already fought. It's not like this is a Jake Paul, KSI, Logan Paul scenario where they're trying to test themselves and see if they're a fighter. But why is he doing it now? Why is he going back to where his roots were in the fight game? I want those answers. So, breakdown, let's go.
Andrew, why are you doing this?
One more time before I'm 40. Test myself, see if I still have it.
So I'm going to retire before I'm 40, test myself to see if I still have it. How old is he right now? Okay, so he's 38 in the totality of this thing. Andrew Tate will be 39 in less than a month. And we're asking the question, how many more fights does he have? You're probably going to see Andrew Tate fight this year once, maybe not ever again, or maybe one or two more times in 2026, and that's going to be it. So this is going to be a very short-lived run here for Tate, whatever he does with Misfits on the fighting side. As far as this whole CEO thing, I'm not sure, but that's a little insight as to how long. People were asking the question, is Tate going to do this once? Is this going to be like a one-off deal? Maybe. But what I know for sure, at least what he's saying, is he wants to retire before he's 40. That's a year and a month. So he's got to get busy quick.
I'm happy to not have it. 10 years retired. I'm not happy to not know if I have it or not. My then this year's to fuck around with this stuff. Day one, fight camp. I want to see where I am. So I'm going to go spar with the best fighters basically in the country. We have Olympic boxers. We have Benny, who's a glory heavyweight. We have some really dangerous guys here.
Benny, who's a glory heavyweight. Benjamin Adebayo, not even close. He's 6-0, Mr. Gentleman. Maybe the worst nickname ever. But it says he's 6-0 as a pro boxer. Two-time Glory Heavyweight Championship challenger and three-time winner of the heavyweight tournament. He's never won the Glory Heavyweight Championship, but he's challenged for it twice. So this guy's legit. Ranked 5 in the heavyweight division of Beyond Kick. 13th heavyweight kickboxer in the world by Boxing Mag. Okay, so he's legit.
I'm the old one.
I want to see what he does with this heavyweight. Oh. Okay, the sparring with no headgear. I know a lot of guys that do this, that spar no headgear because the headgear actually prevents them from seeing. And it's there to protect you, obviously, but it's also sometimes a hindrance on your vision and gets you hit more. I personally think you should always be sparring in headgear, but at the same time, guys that don't use it, I also understand. If you're high level enough to where you're not using headgear and you're controlling the sparring, you're not going full out trying to, kill each other every time you spar, then it makes sense. This looks like more of a tech spar, more, yes, you're going to get touched with punches, but it's not full go swinging for the bleachers. It doesn't look like anyway. Just training his eyes again, right? You're seeing Tate fight out of both stances, which is interesting. I don't know if I expect him to do that versus Chase, but it's more of a kickboxing thing to try to fight out of both stances. Now, again, Tate is a very upright fighter, a guy that stands very tall. He's got the W.A.D.E concept neck. That thing is extendoed, you know what I mean? That go-go gadget neck. So you're going to see instances, especially like this, when he's inside where his level rises up and he stands there with bend at the waist, mixing it up. And that's a dangerous place to be, even for, this fight with Chase. Chase is maybe, again, not the most technical boxer, but he's a powerful dude, and he's learned how to throw a right hand. So even in these kind of exchanges, where this is good defense, we're pulling away with our feet, but you see stuff like this, again, decent enough defense, head goes back, feet are moving. this kind of stuff right here, where we're in the pocket and we're throwing, and this kind of thing where we're just, that's a little dangerous, right? You get touched. He's making that guy pay because he's got a longer reach, but. And this is where Andrew Tate likes to be, by the way. You see a lot of his fights and a lot of his sparring, he likes to be the pressure fighter, even as the taller fighter, which you usually wouldn't see, at least not as a mainstay. You would see guys work their way to the inside, work on the inside, get back to their jab. Tate almost likes to continue to stay inside and work there. Great body puncher. Again, I like to see more out of his combinations from range, but where he likes to fight is inside. And his body punches are great. Mixes up the levels. Boom, touch. Like I said, trying to train his eyes and his feet. 1-2-1, we like that. Got to be careful throwing that jab with nothing behind it, especially moving to the right hand. Good right hand. Good right hand. But this jab, if you're moving into the right hand and he slips off center, woo! Again, I think Tate's reach saves him a bit there, and his shoulder being higher than his chin off the jab, being able to duck underneath it, but still, dangerous game. But that's how Tate fights, honestly. Like, you're not going to see him with a high guard a lot. You're not going to see him super hand responsible defensively. It's a lot of upper body and feet movement and taking risks so that he has reward, right? And that's what an experienced fighter can do. They can fight a little bit more with their hands down. They can see a lot of punches coming. They can rely on their reflexes because they've seen it so many times. It's pattern recognition that they can then deliver, right? They catch counter or they slip counter or they just find ways to manipulate the orthodox rules of boxing, right? You're taught to have the hands high and the elbows tucked in the high guard. Guys that have done that and then have grown and utilized other defenses can manipulate.
When I was 26, his age, we'd fight once a month. I didn't know who. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know their name. You just turn up, you get in the ring with some guy, you just fucking fight. Next month, fight. Next month, fight. So we had 70.
Did Tate tear his bicep? I'm looking at his left bicep, and there's like a clear divot here. Did he tear his bicep? It would make sense for the years of kickboxing and boxing, throwing the jab out and, you know, snapping it over and eventually hyperextending it and so on and so forth. But, I mean, Tate comes from that, you know, that kickboxing background where, yeah, you fought to survive. Damn near every month you're fighting a new guy. And it's, you know, less training for a specific fight and more training just to get better in the sport and also learning by fighting. If you're fighting once a month, you're getting 13, 14 fights a year, potentially, unless, you know, who knows, you could fight twice in 1 month. You're getting 12 to 13 fights a year. For however many years he did that, 4 or 5 years, you add that up, you're 60, 70 fights. That's Tate's career.
So we had 70, 80 fights in 3 years. Then you just didn't know who the fuck. You're 2 years longer than me, who cares? You get to a place and you look around, maybe him, who's my size.
Body work. Okay, so this guy's firing back a little bit. Let's see this. Again, Tate gets so square with his shoulders and head on center line when he's attacking. And this is where the vulnerabilities lie. This is where the risk is involved. When he is more bladed and he's jabbing and head off center line and he's ducking and slipping shots and making you pay, that's the Tate that I like to see more. But when he gets, and this is, again, there's an art to transitioning from that bladed stance, weight on your back foot, to, okay, now I'm going to be the bully. Now I'm going to come forward and implement my offense. And again, I keep saying it's a risk because it is. Look at this posture. Look at the potential counters that are there because he's not in that bladed stance, because he's a lot over his front foot, because he is square. But this is him making that decision to go, okay, I'm willing to now go into the fire, and whatever risks I'm taking, I'm going to make him pay before he can land. Fight game. So Tate goes with a lead right hand, and this guy catches him with the check hook over the top. Tate gets out of the way of the right hand. But again, you see some of those risks. The body shot. Man. You got to have good reflexes to do this kind of stuff, man. It's good setup with the jab to the sternum. Here comes the right hand. And Tate pushes it with that lead hand, just gets enough on it, pushes it, and gets the head off center. Still, even at 38, still got really good reflexes. Good eyes for the sport. Look at that jab. Nope. Right hand. This guy's giving him good work. That's good work. Now, the problem that Tate might run into is, I mean, I didn't see him sparring with the other heavyweight that's as big, and I think that's the guy he would probably need to not emulate Chase, but emulate Chase's size. He's bigger than most of these guys, right? At least in height and stature. Chase is going to be bigger than him. So he needs someone in that 6'5", 220, 230 range to really kind of implement just the size of Chase Demoor. Okay, that was day one, part one. Here's day one, part two. Here's more of Andrew Tate's kind of insight into why he's fighting on Misfits.
Andrew, why are you doing this?
Because he's supposed to beat me. Because he's younger, taller, more active. He's the champion, I'm not. I'm 10 years retired. He's supposed to beat me, and I'm the underdog.
That's not true. That is absolutely not true. There is this thing that fighters and athletes do to convince themselves of a narrative that motivates them, right? To convince themselves of a scenario that may not be true in reality, but is one that motivates them. The us against the world mentality, the no one believes in me, the they disrespected me and it fires me up type of thing. And sometimes it's not there. That's not the situation you're in. So sometimes you have to create that in your own mind. So him saying, you know, Chase is supposed to win, he's the champion, younger, all that. Yeah, he's younger. Yes, he's the Misfits champion, but he got a Misfits championship by beating influencers. Andrew Tate is a fighter, or was a fighter. And yes, he's 10 years retired, but he has more experience in the time he fought than Chase could ever hope to have. Andrew Tate is absolutely supposed to win this fight and is not the underdog. But it is a tougher fight than I expected him to take in his first one. I will be honest. Not because, again, I keep saying this, and I don't mean it disrespectfully to Chase, but not because he's fighting fucking Rico Verhoeven, you know what I'm saying? Like, not because of that, but because Chase is a formidable size. It's a massive difference from fighting someone that's, you know, my size. 6'4", 200. That's kind of what Tate is. Chase is a little bit bigger than that, and it does present a different problem. So I don't mind him using that as a motivating factor. Like, no one believes I can still fight, or no one believes I actually was a good fight, whatever. But he is not the underdog.
Well, the first day, we basically just did pads just to see how the flow is, timing, accuracy, and all of that, speed, reach. Obviously, because the opponent is much taller and stuff, we can't do the usual like where I'm close to him and stuff. I mean, we can do some of those aspects, as mainly like reach and distance, good pace.
What did he say?
Seeing all of that, speed, reach. Obviously, because the opponent is much taller and stuff, we can't do the usual like where I'm close to him and stuff. I mean, we can do some of those aspects, as mainly like reach and distance, good pace.
Because he's much taller, we can't do the in-close stuff. I'm not sure what he's trying to say there. Like, we can do some of that, but not all of it. Because Chase is much taller, you're not going to have the reach advantage to just bend at the waist and get out of the way of punches when the jab or the right hand is coming back at you. You have to do more than just that. And fighting on the inside is actually where Andrew might have an advantage in this fight. The body work, getting inside kind of the longer reach of Chase, but then you have to worry about the clinch. There's definitely opportunities inside for Tate in this fight.
He looks good. It's finesse, you know, it's like fine-tuning it. So once fine-tuned, it'll be like a Formula 1 car for sure. The one that's winning, of course.
All right, so just more mitt work. Just training his eyes. Catch counter work.
And I've assisted him in training for every single one of them. I've been in his corner for almost every single one of them. I say almost because when I was fighting on the same show, it was impossible to be both his cornerman and the fight preceding his. You know, it's just another day.
What the fuck, now or not? It's now or never.
It's very interesting pad work. There's no call outs, there's nothing like that. It's just Tate moving.
Show, it was impossible to be both his cornerman and the fight preceding his. You know, it's just another day.
Looks very odd for sure.
What the fuck, now or not? It's now or never. We have fucking 20 years to fuck about. 3 months, twice a day. That's it. That is what it
The
is.
funny thing is, and the ironic thing about this entire fight is, when I used to fight back in the
Philly
day,
show.
for small amounts of money, 300 pound, 400 pound, 500 pound, I joke now like I was fighting for nothing back then. But back then, the money actually made a difference to my month. I don't know how many millions Andrew's going to pay for this fight, but the money we're fighting for now is actually more insignificant to me than any other amount I've ever had him fight for. So I get.
Dude is just like resting on a supercar. That's crazy. Like taking a break by sitting his sweaty ass on like $1 million+ car. It is an interesting look at like why Andrew Tate is fighting, right? because, again, much like the Jakes, the Logans, the KSIs, he doesn't need to. But unlike them, he already had a fighter mentality. Unlike them, he already was a fighter. And unlike them, he had to do that to make ends meet. So I think this is more for Andrew to prove stuff to himself than anybody else about what he is now versus what he was then. And it seems like he wants a challenge. It seems like he's a little bored with the whole millionaire lifestyle or whatever. You get to a position, I had this feeling before I fought. You get to a position in life where you feel like you've done all the things you wanted to do, or at least the things that you thought you could do, and then you ask yourself what's next. And for me, it was fighting because I wanted to test myself. I wanted to see if when I was doing all the talking and the commentating, if I had the athleticism, if I had the willpower, if I had the drive to go out and do something very difficult that I had never done before. Tate, obviously not in the same boat, but something similar. He wants to see what he still has. He wants to see if his mindset will carry him, even at 38.
Had him fight for. So I guess he's just doing it to kick ass. And he's going to win.
All right, so there's that. And then our guy, Warren the Mechanic, Spencer, dropped a video yesterday saying, Andrew Tate KO'd me and then gifted me a 100K watch. So let's see how this goes. All right, so here's the spar. Good head movement. Okay, Warren. Catch counters from Tate. Tate missing over the top. Again, Tate fighting with his hands down pretty much exclusively. Good left hook. Oof. Sweeping hooks. Yeah, Warren's got good head movement, man. In a lot of punches. Oi, big right hand. See, this is the argument for not necessarily wearing headgear in some type of spars. Now, again, I think it's a good idea that Warren's wearing headgear, but he doesn't see this right hand. And even with the headgear on, and I'm assuming 18-ounce gloves, he gets tagged with one. That hurts.
He moves his head so good, I had to start telling him quicker because he's fast. It's just zipped. Sorry, bro. I didn't mean to. You did jab me in the body and win me. I didn't show it. So at least you got that. When I first sparred Warren a year or something ago in Romania, like the first time I was sparred him, you're a different person now. It's like a different fighter. When I first sparred you a year ago, it was...
Warren's like bent over the fucking sink like, fuck. This dude broke my fucking orbital bone. I don't care about this story. Pay for my shit to get fixed, bro.
So, sorry, bro. I can't wait for you to whack me. I deserve it. I can't wait for you to catch me and I'm like, okay. I'll get my moment, bro. Yeah, I deserve it.
It's the tough part about sparring your friends, man, is because, like, I haven't done this on a scale of any of these guys, but just at my little spars that I've had, it's tough because you want to go and get better and work, and you're competitive, and it's fighting, and if you hit, it was me that got hit. I wasn't hurting anybody in sparring, but if you get hurt in sparring by someone that you like, they're usually very gracious about it and everything else, but it's kind of just the game, you know? Granted, Warren is a lot smaller than Andrew, so that's probably part of the reason for it, but that's just part of sparring. It's part of hard sparring. And it didn't even look like a hard shot, just momentum carried him into the shot, and the right hand landed. Oh, no. Oi. Okay. Bro, he's still dangerous. Tate is still dangerous. Right hand, bang, left hook. Oi. The right hand pushes him into the left hook, sweeps it across. Bang, bang, have a seat. Sheesh.
I know you're busy training and everything, so afterwards, so I got your brand new AP. You deserve it. Good man. Sorry.
All right, that's pretty fucking cool. Andrew Tate gets his homeboy an AP for blacking his eye. How much are those watches? This man dropped $40K on a watch, bro. Bro, a dude fucking broke my nose my second day of sparring, and all he got me was like a pack of ice, son. What the fuck?
No, for you. Deserve it, bro. Best training partner. He has no excuse to not be on time.
Look how cool. He's like, what the fuck?
Now he has to be on time. Love you, bro. Thank you so much, man. What? Love you, too. Good
asking me to do the other eye next. Look at that, bro. Dude, this is insane.
All right, so there it is. Yeah, Andrew Tate has a lot of money, number one. Number two, I like that Tate's taking this fight seriously, like he would any other fight, and it looks like in camp he is taking on heavyweights, dropped a motherfucker. I think he's going to be super dangerous on fight night. Still risky, obviously, at 38, the way he fights, right? He is very much, you know, feast or famine with his hands down and his head movement, but he has experience to do it. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting fight between him and Chase, because if he does beat Chase in, you know, devastating fashion, it opens up a ton of opportunities. But what happens if Chase comes out and takes the opportunity? What happens if Chase Demoor finds a way to upset Andrew Tate? All these things can happen. You guys let me know what you think down below, because I don't have those answers. But on December 20th, the fight before Christmas, Misfits in Dubai, guess we'll find out.